questions 1 through 10 on the 2009 grade 10 AMC 10B. Each morning of her 5-day work week, Jane bought either a 50-cent muffin or a 75-cent bagel. Her total cost for the week was a whole number of dollars. How many bagels did she buy? 0.5 M for muffin plus 0.75 B for bagel has to equal some integer. That is our formula. And there's 5 days in the week. So let's see what we get. Let's say we have a scenario of 1 and 4. That is M, there's 1, and bagels, there's 4. That would be 0.5 plus 3, and that is 3.5. That is not an integer. Okay, let's try another scenario. 2 and 3. So that would give me 1 plus 2.25, and that is 3.25. Again, not an integer. Let's try 3 and 2. This would be 1.5 plus 1.5, and that is 3, and that is an integer. So that means the number of bagels was 2. So number 1, the answer is B. Which of the following is equal to? So we have 1 over 3 minus 1 over 4. And on the bottom we have a half minus a third. Common denominator, top and bottom by 4, top and bottom by 3. And the same thing here, 2 and 2. So this looks like 4 minus 3 over 12 over 3 minus 2 over 6. So that's going to be 1 over 12 over 1 over 6, and that is 1 over 12 times 6 over 1, which is a half. So number 2, the answer is C. Paula the painter had just enough paint for 30 identical sized rooms. Unfortunately, on her way to work, 3 cans of paint fell off her truck, so she had only enough paint for 25 rooms. How many cans of paint did she use for the 25 rooms? So in terms of a mathematical formula, if I let X be the number of paint cans that she had originally, 3 fell off the truck, and that was the number that she used to paint 25 rooms. Now we are asking, what is that equivalent to? And it's equivalent to basically the original amount, which is X, in terms of the number of paint cans, over the original plan, which was 30 rooms. So there's the mathematical equation. We just have to solve for that. So cross multiplying, get 30x minus 90 is equal to 25x. And this is 90 is equal to 5x, and therefore x is equal to 18. Now the number of cans that she uses to paint 25 rooms is x minus 3. So x minus 3 is 15. And therefore number 3, the answer is C. A rectangular yard contains 2 flower beds in the shape of congruent isosceles right triangles. The remainder of the yard has a trapezoidal shape as shown. The parallel sides of the trapezoid have lengths 15 and 25. What fraction of the yard is occupied by the flower beds? So this is 15, and this length is 25. So because of the symmetry of this diagram, this will be 5, and this will be 5. And they tell me that those triangles are isosceles, so this is 5, and this is 5. So we have to figure out what fraction is flower beds. So that's 2 times 1/2 base times height. The base is 5, and the height is 5. And that is the area of those 2 flower beds that's represented by the shaded regions. And we have to divide that by the total area, and that is going to be just the area of a rectangle with dimensions 5 and 25. So this looks like 5 times 5 over 5 times 25. Cancel the 5s and you get 5 over 25, and that is just 1 over 5. So number 4, the answer is C. 20% less than 60 is 1/3 more than what number? 20% less would be multiplying by 0.8. And you do that with the number 60. And they are saying it's 1/3 more then some number. So that means it's 4 over 3 times some number, which I will call x. So this is the math. This is the algebra. So on the left side, you get 48. And on the right side, it's just 4 over 3. Sorry, I combined fractions with decimals, and I know that's a no-no, but it's okay. And if you solve for x, you will get 36. So number 5, the answer is D. Kiana has 2 older twin brothers. The product of their ages is 128. What is the sum of their 3 ages? So you have Kiana, and then you have brother and brother. And when you multiply them, k times b, it equals 128. So immediately, I know that I have to break this up into prime factors. And the good news is that it's pretty simple. It's just 2 to the power of 7. So k times b has to be 2 to the power of 7. And if you break it up, we have to break it up in a way so that 2 of these are equal, right? Because 2 of these represent b's. And then the other one can be anything, but it's got to be less than b, right? Because Kiana has 2 older brothers. And with a little bit of thought, it's pretty obvious that these have to be 2 to the power of 3's, and this has got to be 2 to the power of 1. No other combination would work, because if you put 2 to the power of 2, the other one would become 2 to the power of 3, and then Kiana would be older than her brothers, and that's not allowed. So this is 2 and 8 and 8. And the product is indeed 128. They want us to figure out the sum. So the sum is k plus b, and that would be 2 plus 8, and that is 18. So number 6, the answer is D. By inserting parentheses, it is possible to give the expression several values. How many different values can be obtained? We have to now just fiddle around with this and see what kind of different scenarios we get. So I guess we just play around and see what happens. And the only way I can see brackets being placed are here, 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 and then if you put them around 3 numbers like that, I can't see any other way that would change anything. So here we go. So the first one becomes, I think it doesn't really even change. It just becomes 6 plus 20, which is 26. All right, I didn't really do anything there. But this one would change, right? This would become 2 times 7 times 5, which is 14 times 5, which is 70. And this one, I think, stays exactly the same, 6 plus 20, so that doesn't really do anything. This one would change. 2 times 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, and then 10 times 5, that's going to be 50. And then this one, let's see here, it'll be 2 times 4 times 5, 20, 20 plus 3, 23, so 46. So how many different values did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4 different values. So number 7, the answer is C. In a certain year, the price of gasoline rose by 20% during January, fell by 20% during February, rose by 25% during March, and fell by X% during April. The price of gasoline at the end of April was the same as it had been at the beginning of January to the nearest degree. What is X? Let's just start with a number. Makes it easier. Let's just start with 100. Whatever, right? Just an easy number. So at the end of January, it fell by 20%. So now, it rose by 20%. So now we're up to 120. At the end of February, it fell by 20. So we have to go 0.8 times this 120 to get our new number, and that's 96. At the end of March, it rose by 25%. So we have to write 1.25 times 96, and that is 120. And then at the end of April, it fell by X%. Okay, interesting. So that means 1 minus X over 100 times 120 is our new value. And they tell me that The price of gasoline at the end of April was the same as it had been at the beginning of January. At the beginning of January, it was 100. So that is 100. So this is what we have to solve in order to figure out x. All right, no problem. 1 minus x over 100 is going to be 100 over 120, like that. And then, therefore, x over 100 is going to be 1, which is 120 over 120, and then minus 100 over 120. And this looks like 20 over 120 is equal to x over 100. And let's see here, this will be 1 over 6 is x over 100. So therefore x is 100 over 6. And that is approximately 17. Approximately, right? Because they want it to the nearest integer. So number 8, the answer is B. Segment BD and AE intersect at C as shown. AB equals BC equals CD equals CE, and angle A is equal to 5 over 2 angle B. What is the degree measure of angle D? Let's start labeling here. Let's call the degree measure of angle B x, and therefore A is going to be 2.5x based on the information they gave me in the question stem right there. And since AB is equal to BC, that means this angle in here is also 2.5x, right? Because that is an isosceles triangle. So very quickly we can figure out x, since the sum of the angles of a triangle are 180. So x plus 2.5x plus 2.5x is equal to 180. So 6x equals 180, and therefore x is equal to 30. So this is 2.5x like this. All right? AB is equal to BC, but also it's equal to CD and is equal to CE. So that's also isosceles right there. So I can call this y, and therefore that is y. So 2.5x plus 2y is also equal to 180. So 2.5 times 30 plus 2y is equal to 180. And therefore this is going to be, let's see here, 2.5 times 30 is 75 plus 2y is equal to 180. So therefore 2y is equal to 105, and y is 52.5. And y represents angle D. So that is all, of course, 52.5. And therefore number 9, the answer is A. A flagpole is originally 5 meters tall. A hurricane snaps the flagpole at a point x meters above the ground, so that the upper part still attached to the stump touches the ground 1 meter away from the base. What is x? Let's draw a little diagram here. So this is the ground, and then we've got a flagpole originally, something like this, right? And then it breaks, so approximately, I guess, I don't know, here, let's say it breaks. And then it falls down and touches like this, something like that. So we are told that it's x meters above the ground, and it is 1 meter away from the base, so that's 1. And then this distance, of course, since the whole thing was 5, this is going to be 5 minus x. So we've got a little Pythagorean relationship, so we can solve for x. X squared plus 1 squared is equal to 5 minus x squared. So x squared plus 1 is equal to 25 minus 10x plus x squared. X squareds cancel, and we just get 24 is equal to 10x, and therefore x is equal to 24 divided by 10, which is 2.4. So number 10, the answer is E.